What is up, you guys? If you have not watched Legacy Season 4, Episode 13, please click off this video right now because I'm going to spoil it. Do you see this? This is a trophy for all of my fellow Jed stans out there who have loved Jed since the beginning and have been waiting for this episode. Like, I've literally just wanted Jed's backstory for like 4 years and we finally got it, and it was like honestly a lot more painful than I thought it was gonna be. Like, I kind of assumed there was gonna be some trauma behind Jed's backstory and how he became a werewolf, because he did come into the show like he wasn't the kindest person at the school, but I was like, there's something behind it, and I know there's a reason. Like, he doesn't seem like a mean guy, and we finally learned kind of how his dad was abusive, and I just like, when he had to kill Trey, I was like, no, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He's just not gonna do it, and he didn't, because Jed is a king, and he is the best character of all time ever. And if you know me, you know I'm like a hardcore Jed fan. I have been since literally season 1, even when he was mean. Him and Hope have always been like my number one. So I was so excited to finally see an episode that was just like Jed at the front and center, being the shining star that he is and getting his moment. And Ben Levin, here's a round of applause for Ben Levin, because he killed that episode. Like, he was crying, and then he was like sharing his feelings with Ben, the character, and it was just so good. And it can get a little confusing. So right now, this is a round of applause for Jed and Ben Levin. And now a round of applause for Jed and Ben, the character, because they're so cute. They are so cute. And their kiss scene was one of, okay, I'm going to say a bold statement here. I actually think it was one of my favorite kiss scenes in the entire Vampire Diaries universe. Maybe second to Delena's motel kiss, which is super iconic. It's one of the most iconic moments in the Vampire Diaries, in my opinion. It's the music, it's the kiss, it's the tension. And I feel like last night's kiss between Jed and Ben really had the same kind of thing going. The song was just, it was building, and it was so good. I'm gonna put it here. You should go listen to it. It's so good, but I can't remember what it's called. But it was literally so incredible. Like, I was just sitting there like, and I had to rewatch it again this morning because I was just kind of like, I don't even know what happened last night, because I was so like, yeah, Jed, and let's go, Jed and Ben. Like, I was so distracted by everything that like this morning I was like, what happened on Legacies? I was like, I don't know. I was so just like, ah. So I did rewatch it this morning, and I cried again during the Jed and Ben kiss, because it was just so special. And I think getting to see that kind of like vulnerable side of Jed, who was like, I have all of these feelings and I have so much to say, and then kind of having like Ben come in and be like, it's okay, you don't have to say it, and but also them just being vulnerable together. Like, I think that Zane Phillips and his character Ben are some of the best additions to the show, and I think that they have such good chemistry. Like, Ben Levin and Zane, they work really great together. They're really good scene partners, and it was just amazing, and I am so here for it. And I feel like this is the ship that I've been missing from the show, and I didn't even know I was missing it, but I'm like, let's go. So that was amazing. Jed and Ben completely owned the episode last night, so it was so much fun to watch. Again, I've been patiently and sometimes not so patiently waiting for this to happen, so I was so excited. And my other favorite duo of the night was, again, Hope and MG. They have such a special spot in my heart, and I don't know why, but their friendship is just like, I don't know, I think it's so special and just so soft and pure, and like MG just genuinely cares about Hope. And I know like Hope has a special relationship with the twins and they care about her, but I think like MG just like cares about her on another level, and on a level that's just like platonically a friendship, and it's just so beautiful to watch. And I'm literally obsessed with it. And I like it actually, surprise, I cried again. It made me cry last night when he was talking to Hope, and he was like, you know, we miss and love Lizzie, and then he was about to say, we miss and love you, and she cut him off before he could say you. And I was like sad, because I was like, oh, this poor girl, she doesn't even like, she can't even accept love, and the fact that like MG still loves her, she doesn't even want to hear it. But at the same time, I'm excited, because I'm like, well, that means her humanity is close and she knows it. And we obviously know her humanity is close, because her humanity is literally like next to her, talking to her, which is really interesting, and I kind of love it. And as soon as like her humanity like manifested as like good Hope, I was like, oh, I missed her so much. Like, she's just so sweet and like innocent, and her little smile, I almost cried, but I didn't, because I was like, I've missed Hope's smile, not her little like smirky smile that's like, I'm about to kill a bunch of innocent people, but like her little sweet smile, just so sweet and cute, and I've really missed her. So I miss that Hope Michelson as much as I love No Humanity Hope. I guess we kind of get the best of both worlds right now. We get both of them, but I think this is a super interesting storyline, and I think Hope has so much trauma to unpack in her life that her humanity is just going to come in strong, and I'm really excited about that. And two Hopes, who doesn't want to see two Danielle Rose Russells and two Hopes? I mean, come on. I was like, yeah, I'm into this storyline. And I think that's how they'll bring in the Michelsons too. As we know, the Michelsons are coming back in about 2 episodes, I think. I think April 14th they're coming back, and I'm just really excited because I think it's just perfect for Hope to kind of be having this journey, and I'm sad for her because I know she's about to go through a lot, but I'm also like, I want Hope back, so I'm excited about that. There was also the whole Aurora and Lizzie thing again, and there was a couple times while Aurora and Lizzie were kind of interacting that I was like clapping, like actually clapping, because Aurora was kind of putting Lizzie in her place and being like, you're still codependent and you still feel like you need somebody because you don't know how to be alone. And I was like, sometimes you got to hear the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. And I think that Lizzie needed to hear that. But at the same time, Aurora also needs to hear that her brother is a psychopath. And when Lizzie was like, Tristan was abusive, I was like, thank you. Like I feel like we've been forgetting the fact that Tristan is like a terrible person, and he is part of the reason that Aurora is so mentally unwell. It's not even her fault. She never got the help that she needed. And I'm like, Lizzie, yes, like this is a very good, I think, duo, except for at the end when Aurora like made Lizzie get the branding. I was like, we don't need to do that, Aurora. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lizzie's a loyal person. She's a very loyal person for the most part. And then I was kind of laughing when when Alaric was like, oh, you murdered my daughter, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, but half the time you care about Hope and you cared about Elena more than you care about your own kids. So why are we now trying to be dad of the year? You know what I'm saying? We've lost that trophy. That trophy is not yours. The trophy of Dad of the Year would have gone to Stefan if he was still alive, but that's a whole other thing. Not relevant. There was also the clown monster last night. I mean, I honestly, that was one of the most terrifying monsters we've had on the show. I actually was like genuinely scared of it, but it was also really cool because that's how we got Jed's backstory. And then when they were like, oh, let's have it bite Hope, I was like, wait, that's kind of brilliant. Like, that's actually a pretty good plan, Alaric, but I'm going to give the credit to MG because MG's just better. So I thought that the monster was actually really, really cool last night. Very creepy. We had Caleb and Cleo, another little dynamic duo we've got building. And if I'm going to be honest, I was never really sold on Caleb and Cleo. I've always been like, I love both characters individually, even though Caleb is still kind of on my shit list right now. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I still haven't got over the fact that he just handed Hope over to Malivore like it was nothing. So he's still kind of not in my good graces right now. Cleo has always been a queen. Cleo is literally a queen. She's beautiful. Amino was glowing in last night's episode. Like, such a queen. I'm obsessed with her. And the two of them together, though, I haven't really felt the chemistry until last night. Last night, the scene they had at the end, the conversation that they had when Cleo was like, don't stand in front of me, fight next to me. I was like, yes, queen, know your place. And you tell Caleb, you are not standing in front of me. I don't need a man to stand in front of me. Iconic. Absolutely iconic. So I actually really like them. They're growing on me. They weren't kind of like instant like Ben and Jed. I was instantly like, let's go. Caleb and Cleo, I was like, do we have chemistry, or are we just like, oh, we're dating and now we're dating, but I don't feel anything. So I like where we're going with them. I really, really, really do. And then I have to talk about the Handon of it all. Hello, people. Are you going to be at the Super Squad Con? Link in bio. Go get your tickets. What you waiting on? Use code Maddie for a discount. For a discount. For a discount. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw Landon and I was really confused at first because I was like, oh my gosh, he just like, this is not how the scene happened. Like, Hope did not break it in two and be like, I can't kill you. And I feel really bad for her that she has to witness all of these things. And I think, regardless of how you feel about Handon, whether it was toxic in the end, it's really interesting, I think, to think that Handon is toxic, because I always wonder, is it them? Like, if you took out the external environment, okay, and they didn't have all of this crazy stuff going on, I don't think they would be toxic. I don't necessarily think it's them that's toxic. I think it's the environment that makes their relationship unhealthy. But I hope that they can get to a healthy place, even if it's just a friendship. But you can definitely tell that Hope misses Landon. I miss Landon. Like, let's get my boy Wade misses Landon. You know, like, let's get Landon back. And I hope that he does come back. Like, I miss seeing him with the rest of the cast, and Arya Shakasemi is amazing. So I did miss him in last night's episode. I was like, oh, I miss Landon and Arya. But definitely I think it's playing up to Hope's humanity. And I think the big climax of Hope's humanity coming back is going to be her family, which is really interesting. But I mean, no humanity, Hope was still a badass last night. Like, the fact that she was like, just assume it's always going to be a bad time to MG. And then when she like popped up at the surprise party and she was like, I think that was a great idea from Cleo, or whatever she said, just the way she popped up. And then the way she's all like, when Wade was like, you said one of us might die. She's like, no, I said some. And I'm like, oh, she is so funny. Danielle Rose Russell has the best comedic timing. And I will say that like forever, like every episode, I'm like, she's so funny. And like the lines themselves aren't inherently that funny, but it's like Danielle's like mannerisms as she's like playing Hope. And I'm like, God, she's so freaking funny. So I mean, last night's episode was a 10 out of 10. I mean, it was Jed's episode. Like, yes, we deserve another round of applause for Jed and for Ben Levin and for Zane and for the character Ben. Okay, I know it probably gets confusing. I'm like, Ben, but I mean, they have the same name. Oh, before I forget, there's also Jen, the God girl. I'm not sold on this character. I'm not gonna lie. I think she's kind of obnoxious, but like, we've only met her twice, so I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt for a little bit longer. But as of right now, not my favorite. She's a little bit annoying. But anyways, amazing episode. I 10 out of 10 loved it. 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 13 out of 10. It's gonna probably end up being one of my favorite episodes of Legacies of all time. So I'm obsessed with it, and I will see you guys. Oh, thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next Friday for another reaction.